Emotional stimulation. Okay, so let's recap. Okay, you've gotten her attention, you've immersed her in the interaction, you've gotten her fixed speaking to you, you've gotten base social compliance and frame in your favor, all while slowly showing sexual vibe more and more covertly. You've also done base emotional stimulation with the rainbow ruse, depending on how it went down. Now you've thrown out a social frame grab of your own. You've made her commit to you with, hey, let me ask you something. Are you a deep person? I mean, do you have deep conversations a lot with people? When she says yes, you say, good, I really like that. We can hang out further. But I don't want you meeting my mother just yet. And then just laugh about it. And then say, no, seriously, ask them because, okay, now we want to do an emotional stimulator. We already went over why these are important and how they will function to make her want to fuck you at a neurological level. And we already covered in immersion how you want to flow every technique you can from a previous one. So you should get where I'm going with this, except one key thing. Pink elephants. Alright, pink elephants with swords and pistols in their hands, wearing capes. They never knew their daddies, so they squeal through their trunks in despair and cry out their little elephant eyes, wishing for a happy reunion where everything is calm and okay again, like they were when they were little cute baby elephants. Okay, yeah, I know that sounds stupid, right? But as I described that, you just imagined it. Even if you already knew the technique and principle of pink elephants, you couldn't resist imagining it, period. Unless you weren't paying any attention. But the audio just started, so I hope you are. But most women you're immersed with won't be driving a car listening to some guy explain stuff on their MP3 player. You're a man, though, also. So the language that connected with you, even if you were fully paying attention, as discussed in the science section, pretty much stopped making it into your brain as strongly. You may have imagined the elephants, their pistols, their capes, and seen tears coming out of their eyes. You probably laughed when I made like a little squeal sound. But you probably kind of tuned out the whole rest of it. Even though it's a goofy, stupid, quick demonstration with very little description, a woman's wiring allows her to slightly feel the emotion I was speaking about. We're going to turn this up by 10 levels to the point where your man brain wouldn't even understand it. However, it will emotionally stimulate her completely, verbally, via your sneaky, vivid description of an emotional state inside of your own story. You see, you aren't going to say, hey girl, think about pink elephants holding guns and blah blah blah. Of course not. You're going to say, the reason I asked if you regularly talk about zoo animals is because I love talking about zoo animals. My friend and I were just talking the other day about pink elephants. He was saying, he knows these pink elephants that carry pistols and swords and wear capes, who never knew their fathers. Okay? Only we're going to use other words than pink elephants, of course. Words that will emotionally stimulate her via describing emotionally stimulating situations and stories and feelings. We cannot go, hey, check this out. Think about this for me. When you anticipate really exciting things, you can't savor it when it finally happens. Like when you finally get to a vacation spot you've been thinking about for months, it never feels the way you were hoping it would. Not even close, because you've built up so much that you've overhyped it. Now think about it when you have had an unanticipated things happen that are good. Those things feel a lot better, right? They wash over you and get more of and you get more of a rush from them. She would immediately stop it and go, why is he telling me to think about things and describing them? It's peculiar. Okay? That could still have an effect, but instead you want to structure it like this. You'd be like, hey, do you ever wonder like how we experience our most intense, like our excitement in life? I was thinking the other day about, I went on my last vacation and it was so different when I got there than the anticipation of it. I guess it's like when you get your most excited about things, you sort of let yourself down. You build up so much in your mind and anticipate so much of these explosions of new emotions that are going to be there, like when you arrive at your destination. But then you get there and there's all these different things in the environment that you hadn't visualized and hadn't thought about. And it kind of throws everything out of whack. And you can't grab all those emotions that you're feeling seeing this new place, or this place you've been anticipating, and really enjoy them because of these other factors. And that's why I think like the best feelings like that are the best intense feelings of relief and enjoyment of things are completely unanticipated and quick and right in the moment. Just something cool that comes up that you weren't ready for. And then you can really just let all the emotions enter you, and because you didn't have a chance to prepare for them. You didn't have a preconceived notion of how you would experience the emotion. Okay, to your eye, that's just a lot of lost words. To a woman you're immersed with, though, who's trying to understand the words you're speaking, it's a deep, emotional, pink elephant style deal. It amps her up emotionally. This is as we discussed in the science section. It not only creates deeper and further immersion, it also then can create endorphin release as she goes through the thought process. That can then cause the emotion to become a reality that she's imagining herself and feeling. Then we can make her socially commit again by saying, have you ever experienced something like that yourself? What was that like for you? If she says yeah, if she says no, say, okay, whatever, move on. But generally they'll say yeah, because they're going through it themselves. And they're remembering times like that. It's emotionally stimulating her. You'll be shocked most times how deeply they answer you back. Again, you have man brain here. You probably you tuned out half of what I just said, instead of feeling it or understanding it yourself. Matter of fact, when I just described that, I didn't go into any of the emotions myself because I'm not sitting here actually describing it to a woman, trying to get her to feel them also. I'm just blah, blah, blah. I'm blowing them out because it's just a thought process that I'm explaining to you, or that I'm giving you an example of. It's that simple. It's just a thought process. But if you go through all the emotions of that thought process, you describe it more vividly, even than I did. But it's very hard to do without actually being there talking to the woman and having it be a topic that came up organically or that you introduced even on purpose. Because even if you introduce it on purpose, totally non-organically, you're going to feel the need right in the moment to sell that bullshit. So you start selling the bullshit. Like I said, though, you'll be amazed profoundly how deep they'll answer you and reply to a lot of these things. You're probably thinking right now, there's no way I can get any of this to work in the clubs, up the street from me. You can't even hear you speak when you... This is where, again, you have to move her someplace you can talk in the club or loud bar as soon as you have her immersed. Know this. If you can't get a conversation like this flowing with women, you're not even close to seducing them. You're just trying to hook up in the club based on how you look and dress and overall subcommunication and brief talk. Hey, fine, but that's a volume game there, not solid influence and seduction. If you can't sit and talk to a chick in a quieter area as a reality in your mind, you think it's all just walk up and kiss a stranger and dance with her and try and get her to leave with you. You've never seen or done pickups of any worth at any influence level. What you have seen or done is hooking up based on very superficial factors that you don't even need hardly any game for. Just a few dozen approaches in a night for a week, on a medium quality looking women, and you'll get one of these done. Hell, bring a friend with a fucking video camera, hidden, and put it on YouTube and imply that it was your first one of the night, and sell workshops in a fucking URL at the end of the video, and you'll make a lot of money. You won't, however, get a great success rate in approaching to fucking any given chick who you desire that you see. You'll just be a volume game hookup artist. No, is what we want to do is, again, immerse them and then get them talking to us. so we can play in their brain and get social frame, emotional stimulation, and sexual arousal. This is where we take our time and get them immersed, so that they aren't flighty and distracted. So we can work good verbals. So we can go beyond dieting down to six-pack abs and spending $500 per piece of clothing in order to get superficial, fast physical attraction. Superficial shit that lasts 5 minutes and leaves us with makeouts instead of sex. It's like, Jersey Shore kids, anybody? It's like, did you see her, brah? Did you see her? And then they go home alone after making out with some chick that they never see again. What the fuck? I mean, I don't mean to be a killjoy, but most young guys in the clubs are more interested in impressing their friends than getting laid. Don't be that fucking douchebag stereotype. Get a good sex life for real. Get some choice with women here. We want a sexually aroused woman, yeah, but we also want an emotionally revved up, as well as socially framed committed woman wanting to fuck us. That's what lasts long enough to escalate properly and fuck her. That's being a pickup artist, not a club make-out flash in the pan type gamer. I rant, but it's really annoying. It's an annoying, lame problem in teaching this stuff that guys think they want, they want to learn it, but really they just want to go fuck around and try to hook up. I mean, hey, great, go for it, have fun. I mean it. I mean, I don't just say, I'm not being sarcastic. Just don't say, oh, that won't work, it's not easy enough, then wonder why you fuck one chick in 100 that you approach. You have the approach one, get 1 out of 5 mastery course right here. Pay attention and quit saying shit won't work for you. You fucking MTV Real World Club Game asshole. But no, so anyway, back to emotional stimulation. You gotta talk to her, okay? I went into that rant because I meant every word of it, but also I wanted to paint a picture for you guys, of guys walking up, trying to hook up, being Jersey Shore Guido idiots, club game at a basic trying to get makeouts level. You see, in the right context, you can do the same with emotional stimulation with women by describing the emotional states you want them to feel at a covert level. The same as I made you picture YouTube guys getting makeouts off hundreds of approaches and MTV Jersey Shore folks being douchebags. I did this all covertly inside of a story, a rant in an audio course. You can make women imagine and feel emotional states you describe in just the same way. Let's try another quick exercise to get you understanding this. Right now, I'm going to directly ask you. I'm not covertly playing any games with your head or anything, but directly ask you. Pause this right now and think. What was the happiest memory you had in the last 12 months? Okay, pause it right now and do that. Okay, good. Got it? Now, what's the reason for that happiness? Was it because you seen a long-lost loved one? Was it winning the lottery? Who knows? I don't know yours. But I know it has a theme behind it. That theme may be finally feeling secure. Knowing the entire future is going to be easy street if you won the lottery. That theme might instead be finally being able to touch someone you'd only thought about for the last 10 years. And now here they are, and you get to touch them and give them a hug. Think about your happiest memory of the last 5 years even, if you have to. Now, what was the theme there? For example, my theme was seeing San Francisco again after having been in jail, not knowing if I'd get out for many, many years, and remembering just months before having been in San Francisco, having the time of my life, partying with a buddy and doing pickup and seeing the sights and, fucking living it up. And then I got locked up and wasn't sure when I'd get out. So I sat there and thought about that time, there a lot, and how when I finally got out, I would look back at my bad time from there in San Francisco again and know it was all over and that good times were ahead. Okay, so what are the emotionally arousing themes of that? Wishing you could go back to better times when things are bad, or thinking ahead to the future when times will be better. Thinking ahead to the future and distorting time like that to imagine a time in the future when you look back. How would you introduce these themes at an emotional level to her? Okay, like this from my example. Hey, I have to ask you something. And she goes, what? Always make them ask what. Curiosity. Always build curiosity. You say, when she says what, say, do you have like an appreciation for how we play with time in our own head? Do you ever for example, wish you could go back to a certain point, knowing what you know now, and change something? And she'll be like, oh yeah, blah, 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 blah. A lot of times they'll fucking talk themselves into fucking emotional stimulation just by giving them a theme to go with. And then you say, I'm glad you understand me fucking so well here, but, you can't start running my finances just yet. That type of shit. And then, go, no, really though, I was just telling my friend the other day that, it seems like sometimes we kind of like take the past when things are really bad. Like once I was grieving over a bad breakup, and later on you look back at it from a place you had imagined then in the future. You get what I mean? Like you're standing on top of a mountain you just climbed and remembering how tough it looked from the bottom. Then we look back at it and feel such a sense of relief that now we're through and we're through the rough parts, and it's we're standing at the summit kind of, but you haven't done all this yet. You're just looking back at it. And now, but it's like now you can just relax and everything will be totally okay. And then from there, say, have you ever experienced anything like that? And what was it like for you? This gets her in a loop of opening up to you and then committing herself further social frame wise from a place of just imagining what you were talking about at a deep level and being stimulated emotionally by it, and then going right back into explaining the experiences to you. It's a back and forth between emotional stimulation and her committing to the social frame. Again, some people will know that some of the stuff I just previously described is called neurolinguistic programming of a base core level. Unfortunately, some just realized what I was talking about, and they have studied neurolinguistic programming and didn't even understand it at its core level like this. Those who have mastered it and haven't mastered social frames and sexual arousal, however, will find nothing new here. Yet will get tons to improve their game from the social frames and sexual arousal audio. Again, that's why this is Seduction MMA. I will simplify a technique and use it in my own game. I'm not going to sit here and go, well, I didn't invent it, so I'm not going to teach it to my students. That's exactly what a lot of pickup gurus do, and why their systems are watered down and fail their students. Simplified with the way to do this and the way it works, you don't need all the other complex structure around it, is to prepare, not word for word, but just at a theme level, emotionally stimulating things to talk about that have to do with thought process and feelings. You do not have to use deep, specific neurolinguistic programming principles, embedded commands and anchors and all that stuff. They have limited effect, especially in pickup, compared to the overall big chunk of emotional stimulation, via describing themes of emotion and mental states to her as richly as you can. You need to prepare 3 or 4 of these of your own based on simply that. This is where you right now kneecap your game or improve it on this big second key. If you do this, you'll have great material for the right time in your interactions with women. If you don't and say, blah, I'll ignore this part, it's too hard, you miss out on about 1/3 of the effect of your game. Prepare for, even if you don't plan to use them, just do it. It will come up next time you game a chick. And like I said, when you're actually there bullshitting the chick, you can turn the bullshit on a lot better than you think you can just practicing it. But you do it like this, okay? Just right now, sit and think, what are the 4 most significant emotional times of your life that are positive? Write them down right now. Each one, go through it and think, what is the theme behind it emotionally? Now describe that emotion. Write it out. What did it feel like to you? What did you learn from it? What were the thought processes going on that were making it so emotional? Write it out as deeply as you possibly can, descriptive language-wise. Okay, this last part doesn't need to be poetic. Use the language you would normally use, as deep as it would go. Okay, now remember those 4 themes and roughly what you wrote out. Okay, you now have 4 semi-canned and easy to remember emotional stimulators that are your own and are positive based. Examples from me here will fuck you up and get you imagining structures you need to follow that you don't. Don't overcomplicate these emotional stimulators. You don't need to be a fucking Jedi mind trick artist here. You don't need to be a poet. You don't need to be a female romance novel writer. You just need to, in your own words, describe emotional themes and ideas you have to get her brain working in that direction in your presence. She will automatically associate it to you. It's like the final stage of immersion. That combined with social frame, getting her committed, and sexual arousal could best be described as love. If you want more here out of this, you aren't doing the work. If you do the exercise I told you, this stuff will come to you. If you don't, it will remain just out of your reach no matter how long you try to find an understanding of it. Do the exercise where you write out the themes and write out the emotions. Do 4 of these. You will fucking thank me later in field, okay? Number 2, if you want specific examples, you aren't grasping the concept again of describing themes of emotional significance. It's that simple, okay? Again, do the work. And number 3, if you want more, you're overestimating the complexity. It's as simple as talking about emotional shit. So she goes through those mental processes as she listens to you talk about it with an excuse, and then looping that into a social frame of making her commit further by asking her to describe the same experiences back. That's simple. That is 75% of the effects a master who studies and applies these techniques for 10 years will get out of it. It's combined with my own social frame stuff, so it makes it more powerful. And you don't need all the, as I said, embedded commands and all the, there's so many just trance words and anchors and all that. It's just not worth studying. I'm sorry, but the biggest thing for pickup is emotionally stimulating her verbally by describing the themes and processes. I purposely give you kind of a weak instruction of neurolinguistic programming here because, again, it's all that's needed in pickup. Any more just clutters up the mind and takes focus off of other equally important concepts with an information overload. It's the 3 keys. It's a 3-legged table. You knock one leg out and you make 2 legs super strong. You got social frame and you got emotional stimulation. And they're so strong, I think it'll hold up the table. You take that 3rd leg of sexual arousal out, bang, it fucking hits the fucking ground. Any of the legs, you take them out, it starts turning into volume game. Because you're having to find women who don't need that 3rd leg. Which, oh, jeez, bad fucking pun. Never mind. I should edit this, but I'm gonna leave it. It's fucking funny. Women that don't need that 3rd leg. They all need that 3rd leg, baby. Anyway, for those who simply can't remember any positive emotions of their own, think on these themes. Try this out. Realizing you're in love with someone. Okay, no, you can't just sit there and say, hey, think about when you fall in love. You say, oh, my friend was telling me the other day about how she fell in love with this guy, and And now describe your experience of falling in love. That'll get into her head. Think about becoming friends with someone for the first time. Like when you were a kid, wasn't it cool the first time you realized you had a friend? That first feeling of, oh wow, I met somebody outside my family that I've connected with. If you don't have a good memory, you can just remember the last time you met somebody and thought, whoa, cool. As an adult, I've made a new friend. If you've never made any friends, fuck. Get checked for Asperger's disorder. Or think about how you go from nervous to comfortable on like the first day of school or work. I was about to say it or something else, but I'm not going to say it. But the first day you go into something that you're nervous about, then you look back at it and there was no reason to be so nervous about it. And another one is like how finally seeing a place you always wanted to felt when you finally got there. Again, it's about describing the feelings, not the events. That's how you exploit her ability to feel emotions from verbal descriptions to emotionally stimulate her. Again, because of the neurological differences, we can exploit this. It's perfect. And as you do a positive theme that she'll go into as you describe the feelings of it. Again, it doesn't have to be poetry. That's overcomplicating. It doesn't have to be perfect. It does need to take into account, though, that whatever you describe, being she is immersed and focused on you, she will experience in her own head. It's the fucking ultimate emotional stimulation tool. Now, though, we're going to get into some nonverbal emotional stimulators that are a little harder to fit into the interaction, but when you can, they work even better. Where the neurolinguistic programming crowd can fail in their conceptual framework is that many give no credence to the social frame, and even some no significant attention to sexual arousal. This is because most NLP is based on sales and marketing, not male to female influence. So they go pure linguistics and no behavior for emotional stimulation. So a logic inevitably crosses your mind of, what the fuck? Then how did all the other guys who ever fucked her end up fucking her? A rock star doesn't use language patterns to get women in bed. Where was the emotional stimulation filled that with that third key for my ex-girlfriend? I didn't use any of these emotional stimulators verbally. Okay, a great example here is if you analyze a pimp and his hold over his women. And see, again, you see no specialized language patterns. Even though he controls his women with no sexual arousal, he doesn't even fuck them. All the sexual arousal she feels for him is being sent out to fuck random men as some base primal association. She's more shut down sexually than aroused by him or anyone at all. He simply swings her around emotionally, non-stop, with crazy ups and downs and mood swings. One minute he's screaming in her face he's going to kill her. The next he's shutting her out and won't talk. He's fed up, so fed up he might just leave the game and her and hell with it all. She isn't scared he's actually going to fucking kill her or anything. She might tell people that when asked 20 years later, why were you with a pimp? Yeah, I was scared he's going to kill me. No, she's so emotionally strung along and so socially framed, so committed to him, that she actually fucking loves the sack of shit. Actions, not words, cause heavy emotional states then. Where we, of course, as a man, aren't quite as susceptible to the emotional swinging, it can happen, and can happen to us via sexual arousal swings and social frame swings from a woman. She puts out, gives us sex, then holds out, and then drives a fucking chumpy dude crazy wanting more sex that she holds the magic combination to. Which, then she gets angry at him regular for breaking whatever social frame she sets. So the guy's in a constant state of, my girl's mad at me again because I did fucking X, Y, or Z, so I'm not getting any sex. I wish I could just make her happy. No, you don't. You wish she would shut the fuck up and open her legs when you say to, and stop blaming you for every little thing that goes wrong and treating you like a social leper, idiot who doesn't understand anything. You wish she would stop only rewarding you for God knows what. You don't have a clue how to be a good boy anymore. Sometimes you just are, and she rewards that. No. The truth is, there is no good boy. She's just fucking with your head via built-in frame of, women don't like sex. That's automatic social frame and sexual arousal control built into women. It's classic female game. It's classic men losing the battle of the sexes in relationships. Also in neurolinguistic programming, too, they fuck up social frame control between a man and a woman by having you mirror and match states of hers instead of showing you how to make her match your states, so you could project a sexual arousal and have her follow it. I teach you that in the sexual arousal section. But never mirror and match women as is advised in neurolinguistic programming and dating books. It completely fucks the social frame and makes you no longer able to lead her frame, emotions, or arousal. You do want to match initial energy level. You want to energy verge. But you do not want her to want to match her energy levels, or especially her mannerisms or posture, or her posture within the interaction. You only energy verge when you first come in. This tells your unconscious, this tells her unconscious that you're a fucking weakling at a social status level if you mirror and match her. That she has the dominant frame. That all said, neurolinguistic style communication can cause emotional stimulation strongly if done in moderation only. If done heavy and in strong chains that go on forever and ever, the women get the emotional stimulation and don't associate it to you. The flaw, again, in NLP or neurolinguistic programming is they would say, you have to link it to you. No, you don't. You simply don't lay it on so thick and for as long as for her to not want more from you. Ideally, she gets the stimulation. Then she gets the idea that you're conveying, and that triggers the emotions. She enjoys this, and then she cuts it off, and then it gets cut off on her, and you make her commit further to you by having her describe it back to you from her own experiences. Then you're off onto another topic. She feels the desire for more, and that attaches to you. So the emotions also attach to you. Simple pink elephants have been overcomplicated to an extreme here. An extreme that, if it worked as reported, would be the new science of all marketing and influence. It's not. It's a strong principle that went way out of control and ruined its own credibility with add-on concepts that weaken the core idea. You can also use large emotional stimulators that aren't so verbally complex as emotional stimulation. As a major caveat here, there's a huge tailoring to your audience with this. Just like the pimp freaking out, screaming at his woman that he wants to kill her, you have to tailor this to the woman. If you throw a classy upscale doctor's fucking coffee table through a front window to do an emotional stimulator, you're probably going to be asking somebody for another fucking cup of juice through a hole for the next couple of days, alright? On the same token, if you run verbal game with rich descriptions of other people being fated to be together and knowing it by the comfort they feel looking into each other's eyes on a stripper, she's going to look back at you and wish her boyfriend who threw coffee tables through the window would come back. She ain't going to think that, though. She's not going to think, I wish he would come back and throw coffee tables. No, she's scared of that behavior. But he understood me, she'll think. Not that she wants, like I said, not that she wants the coffee table thrown through the window. She will just call him later on because she was bored at a mental justification level. She won't even realize the reason she felt all those things for him is because she's such a trash that somebody throwing a fucking coffee table out her window isn't a deal breaker. It's an emotional stimulator to her. But it's the same calibration of style and fashion and grooming you currently partake of, to seek your own level. It's the only way also you can be happy in a long-term relationship. You've got to seek your own level for relationships on what you can realistically give emotional stimulation wise. The crazy stripper who's been beaten and abused by her last 3 boyfriends doesn't need you to beat her up or throw coffee tables out the window by any means. And the level-headed Vulcan robot doctor girl doesn't need you to be boring and square like her last 3 boyfriends. The same as approaching a group, however, you need to come off with a little bit higher energy. You need to come in with a little higher emotional stimulation than her baseline, or you become insignificant. And if a woman's baseline is 5 times higher than you're comfortable stimulating her past, you'll constantly have to work to keep shit interesting. And if it's, theoretically like 5 times lower, I'm not saying exact levels here. So, if it's 5 times lower than you and your water level, the drama is probably going to flow over and overstimulate her. Basically she's going to run when your cousins show up at her house and kick the door in because you owe one of their drug dealers money or some shit. I think you probably get the picture here. It isn't rocket science. However, what is of interest, and what is something you need to learn, are specific examples of emotionally stimulating a woman that are within your range for the pickup itself. I will just put it out at level 1, level 2, and level 3. You have to calibrate the girl you're interacting with. Pretty fucking basic and obvious. If she's a level 1, it's just a boring square chick. Level 2, average normal chick. And level 3 is bitches be crazy chick. Alright? Again, fairly easy to figure out from interacting with her for just a few minutes even. Anyone who would call this advanced has fucking Asperger's disorder, okay? Specific examples for emotional stimulation that aren't verbal and aren't neurolinguistic programming style that I've used that work are for level 1 boring square chicks. Right off the bat, just having you approached her in an interesting way, even if she's incredibly sophisticated and pretty, is hugely emotionally stimulating for these type of women. Just that. They don't usually get approached by fun guys because naturally non-trained pickup artists who are fun guys don't tend to approach quiet, boring, square women. Men who do and can talk a lot and be persistent are a major catch to these type of women. The put-off of an no stupid games here, like vibe to players and to losers, and oh shit, that's a chick who'll fuck my dumb ass because she isn't used to anyone who'll see through her walls, that she's just shy and quiet, not a bitch. Woohoo! Okay, that's why these chicks are always with losers. More so than what they are. I mean, they'll be intelligent, they'll be well spoken, they'll be well dressed, and there was some fucking loser because they're, these guys can fucking break through the walls because they'll just keep blah 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 talking. And, you don't have to do a lot. Just minor verbals and a few interesting stories are all you need for the emotional part of it. But something you can do with the level 1 chicks is, just tell her a story of any kind about a car accident, crazy situation you were in, anything. Just make sure it isn't trashy if she isn't trashy, threatening to hang up on her and never speak to her again on the phone's another good one. A rainbow ruse alone will practically entrance her. Ask her, do you believe in the supernatural? Do you believe in Wicca? Do you believe in magic? Do you think any of that stuff was ever real? It always gets an interesting response and good emotional stimulation. Again, these are level 1 things here. They're real basic, simple stuff for a chick who doesn't require a lot. You can sit there and ball up straw wrappers and throw them at her playfully, or you can fucking kick at her ass while you're in a store in front of people. This is hugely emotionally stimulating her. It's like, oh my god, he's embarrassing me. But it's not so far over social frame as to get her to go, oh, fuck this guy. This is, I can't deal with this. The guy's howling like a wolf in the, a woman that's like a boring square type chick, you start howling like a wolf in the fucking place, she's gonna actually leave. She'll get up and run off. You throw straws at her and kick at her, she's like, oh God, why is he embarrassing me? Why is he being like that? Playing a game with her is also good. Any kind of, just thumb wrestling, arm wrestling. Tell her, here, I'm gonna arm wrestle. I'm gonna let you beat me just so you feel what it's like to beat somebody at arm wrestling. Any easy to look up personality games. Strawberry Fields, The Cube. Or you can just even play tic-tac-toe on a napkin with her. Or tell her, we're going to have a fucking staring contest right now. And sit there and stare her in the eyes. And that kind of stuff hugely emotionally stimulates these girls. Also, any kind of arguing in public with other people. If you take a girl like that out and they get her fucking order wrong. She's like, oh no, don't make a fuss. And you tell them, no, take this back. This is fucking bullshit. You burned her fucking steak or whatever. She'll be like totally fucking freaked out. It's a huge emotional stimulation. As long as you're not, but that's just it. You got to calibrate it a little to the girl. If you start yelling, hey fucking, don't be, you burned my fucking girl's steak. It's going to scare her off completely. And arguing with her on something, instead of a me too, when you're in the middle of really connecting and doing me toos and you go, no, that's lame, fucking, you suck, I don't like that. Kind of tongue in cheek, but also get her debating you on it, and keep it playful. It really emotionally stimulates these kinds of girls, to a level, an average chick, that kind of stuff's kind of par for the course, but, level 2, average, normal, level-headed chicks. Here's some you can use on them. You can, if you're getting a little bit of a tiff on the phone about something, you say, "I'm fucking sick of you," and you hang up on her, and you make her call you back. Plain and simple. You can also yell at someone from across, in public from across the room. You can be like, "Hey! Hey!" And she'll be like, "Oh my God, you're fucking embarrassing me, quit it," But again, she's a normal chick, so this is like just, you're being goofy. Or, you can flex your muscles at people, like bodybuilder style, as they walk by and stuff. And just keep doing it, kind of like to embarrass her, it emotionally stimulates. Outdoors you could scream for the same fucking effect. If she's like, especially if she like does a frame grab and you go, like you're crying, and they tell her, tell you have to stop me, you have to stop me from crying, you have to give me a hug, and she'll be like, oh my fucking God, and if she runs off, actually chase her down and go, do it, just fucking with her, and they go, no, wait, I'm just fucking around, I'll quit it. That kind of stuff, they love it. As goofy and stupid sounding as it is. And again, you gotta calibrate these things, you wouldn't do that on a fucking really low-key, fucking upscale type chick. Another one you can do to fucking your average, mediocre, energy level type women is, you take her phone away, grab her phone, and fucking start going through the menu until I'm gonna fucking call somebody and start talking to them. Right in the middle of the pickup, they're like, oh my God, this is so fucking, you're too much, this is crazy. Or you can right in the middle of the store say, hey, I'm gonna steal something. If you're in a store, you're like, I'm gonna fucking steal this right now. Until she believes you and freaks out and walks off and then say, I'm just kidding, I'm just fucking kidding. And then start talking to her again. Another one you can do, with chicks that are kind of in between the level 1 and level 2 is you just kind of freeze up on her. And kind of show her an obvious like annoyance for no reason, even like a pfft when she says something, and refuse to talk to her for a second or two, and don't look at her until you see her start to react and kind of like what the fuck's wrong with this guy? Then go, ha, look at your face, you're fucking funny. And then another one you can do is you just tell her fucking, you're fucking boring. Let's fucking do something crazy. Let's fucking figure something out. You're being too fucking boring. And then the two of you can come up with it together, what you're going to do. Let's do something crazy in here. Another one you can do with them is you can play like more physical games. You can play hot hands, which is like where you put your palms up and they put their hands on top of yours and you try to slap the top of theirs. Or you can do the fists up opener thing into wrestling. You can just put your fists up at her while you're in the middle of talking about whatever. You just like put your fists up. All right, I'm gonna fucking fuck you up. Let's go. Let's have it out. And see if she starts slapping. You can start wrestling with her. You can do that in a later game. You get back to your house and she's like fucking, kind of seeming like she's nervous or something. You do that. You say, all right, come on, let's go. We're fucking having it out. Just joking around like that. And that can lead to wrestling, and wrestling leads to naughty bits getting hooked up together in a sticky mess. Fucking bad people, you. Anyway, same token, you can just start tickling her in a later game. That's a good emotional stimulator for just average women. Now, okay, level 3, bitches be crazy, whacked out, high drama type chicks. Again, a phone game. You can yell at her on the phone and tell her, I fucking hate you, you fucking bitch, and then hang up on her. Wait for her to call back. You can also tell them kind of women stories about a fight or a car accident or, fucking like graphically you can talk about it. High energy. Dramatic situations you were in of any sort, of any level, of any insanity or outcome. Some of them kind of women, I can do this, you really can't, but you could anyway. You could just, tell her, I'm a fucking pickup guru. I'm secretly videotaping all of this. You see that guy over there? He's videotaping this whole thing. And I'm going to put it on the internet. And she's like, what the fuck? Again, this is for bitches be crazy fucking chicks. One you can do there is you just grab her fucking phone, refuse to give it back, and actually start calling people. Don't just tell her I'm going to call people. You actually start calling to people and start talking. And fucking run away with her phone until she actually gets mad. And then be like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Here, and give her a hug and apologize. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. Again, it's a fucking, emotional roller coaster. Then tell her, another one you can do is say, I'm going to teach you how to punch. Check this out. And then, tell her tighten your fist as hard as you can and use your hips and fucking drive one right into my stomach as hard as you can. And I mean, if you've never been punched in the stomach, probably don't want to do this, but, if you don't have the reflexes to jump back when she throws the punch, it's not good. Is what I'll do is I'll have him fucking, all right, go ahead, fuck hit me, then boom, I jump back and then I fucking laugh at her. You fucking wimp, you can't even fucking hit me. Yeah, and then I'll run away. Just totally immature fucking bullshit. Another great one is, setting up like a role play. Just tell her fucking, hey, I'm gonna go over and I'm gonna talk to this chick and, over there. And when I'm in the middle of talking to her, you go over or you come over and you pretend to be jealous and say, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you talking to her? And we'll see what kind of reactions we get out of her. Another good one is you get mad at her for something that isn't even worth getting mad about. Any given thing. Just tell her, like something she does say, oh, fuck, you're so annoying. And then she'll be like, what? She'll beg. She'll be like, what are you talking about? Why am I annoying? You just go, you fucking keep clicking your nails like that. Ugh. And get up and walk off. And she'll be like, what the fuck? And then you turn around and come back and laugh and go, I'm just fucking with you. In later game even, calling her names and leaving totally. Even from your own house. Walk in the backyard and fucking scream, like you're angry. That type of shit. And like I said, again, these are for bitches be crazy chicks. You can fucking tell. You'll know what you got on your hands. Just screaming at the top of your lungs in frustration. You're like, fuck you, over something really fucking, like something bigger. Like something that, if you guys actually get in a fucking argument or something. This only works if you're alone, 100%. If you're fucking hanging out with friends or something and you do this, or if you do it at a party or something, no go. I mean, this has got to be like something like, you're already pretty intimate. You tell her, fuck it, I'll just give you a ride home, whatever. And that's, and then you make up from there. A lot of times you end up fucking after that. I know a lot of these last ones probably seem nuts to some of you, and the first one seems boring to some of you. That's my point. You got to kind of tailor this to your own water level, drama and class wise. myself, I've been doing it long enough. I can fucking method act it out. I can do the fucking level ones on a Kate Beckinsale proper English girl, or the level threes on your favorite porn chick. And do them congruently and believably. With practice, you can too. Just never go too far. Always keep it legal, I mean, don't ever fucking go into breaking stuff or threats or anything like that. Because, I mean, it could end up landing you in trouble, and then it just ain't worth it. Uh, you get the idea. Tailor it to what she can handle for her drama style. And then fucking scramble her brains with whatever behavior or talk she isn't ready for, all at an emotional level. Again, just don't go too far. Always do some emotional stimulation, though. Be it leading her emotionally with pink elephant style verbal descriptions, or be it crazy behavior that gets her amped compared to her normal style of dealing with the world. It gets her fucking a third attracted to you, so do it. Now, next up is, a big thing is, like in the community, you know, is the defensive angle of emotional stimulation. Just listen is a huge catch-all advice in the pickup community these days. Of course, don't be rude and interrupt people when they're talking. However, also, if she isn't working herself into sexual arousal, giving you the frame, or emotionally working herself up, then it behooves you to steer the conversation and interaction back to one of the key three. I mean, her sad boss, her boring job, her brother that just keeps borrowing her car, not bringing it back, etc., are not the time to just listen, okay? You need to be defensive here. Steer the conversation off of bad emotional themes and topics that she will also negatively associate with you if she speaks at length about them. That's simple. Just change the subject when bad shit like this comes up. It's old community advice. Do not become her therapist. Do not become her emotional tampon about her bad boyfriends or something like that. Change the subject and go into some other techniques at all costs. Now, we're going to move on to sexual arousal.